How's it going, everyone? How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, aka the Lonely Hermit, and today we're getting into my Generation 3 Pokemon tier list. But before we get into it, if you guys are new here, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, if I can say it correctly. And go check out my Twitter and Instagram in the description at HermitLonely_. Drop a follow while you are there. They are the best places to stay updated. Oh, and while we're doing this tier list video, go ahead and do it along with me. Shout out to Carlos, my brother-in-law, for thinking of that idea. That was actually pretty smart. I'm mad that I didn't think of it first, but yeah, while I'm doing this tier list thing right here, I want you guys to do it alongside me and then send me your tier lists on Twitter. That's the best place to send them to me, the easiest at least. Like I said, we're getting into our Gen 3 tier list. This Generation 3 is probably, I would say, Generations 1, 3, and 5 I have the most experience with in terms of using the Pokemon. So Gen 3 is one I'm a little more well-versed in with all the Pokemon. I've used a pretty vast majority of them and have some good experiences with them. So we'll see. This is definitely one of my more favorite gens in terms of overall all the Pokemon. There were a ton of Megas, so we'll switch to the tier here. The tier list. There were a ton of Megas. I forgot how many got added in freaking Oras. There's a ton of Megas. It's funny because even with all those Megas, Mega Salamence still wasn't there. But as you can see, this tier list also does include the Deoxys forms, and I believe also, yeah, all the cast forms. So we'll go with it. We'll count them separately as well. I think that'll make it a little more interesting. I don't have a ton of experience with all the forms, the different forms with them, like Deoxys and cast forms, but to quickly go over the tiers though, real quick. S, amazing. I love their design. Love them when I use them. Great experience with them. A, solid design. Good experiences. B, decent design. Pretty good design. Had some good experience with them. C, either had really bad experience, had not a great experience with them, or they just, design's not great to me. And D is very eh. Either Pokemon I dislike, or Pokemon that are just kind of eh compared to everyone else in terms of experiences and usability and all that good stuff. But let's get into it. We're starting with the grass type starter Trico here. Not gonna lie, I don't really like Trico's design. Trico's design is a little weird to me. Probably one of my least favorite grass type first stage starters. I think it's definitely up there. I don't particularly like its design. It's kind of weird. I get the gecko thing, but Grovyle definitely does get better. I do like Grovyle. Grovyle's design is good, not bad, good. Sceptile though would definitely be that line definitely gets better for me as you know each evolution happens. I think I'm tempted to throw Sceptile on S. I might switch Sceptile to S. Oh, another thing I am changing real quick. As you can see, the tier list is a little pushed more to the what would that be? I think left or whatever. Another thing is I'm not gonna switch Pokemon around, put them higher in the tier list. Whoever I'm putting on latest in the tier list is going up front, just to make sure you guys can see who I'm putting there, who's the latest and stuff like that. Just a little note there. You guys will probably know this as I go on. But Sceptile, I attempted to put S. We'll see. I think for Generation 3, for Gen 3, I think I would put an S. Yeah, I'll put Sceptile on S. I'm putting Sceptile on S. I actually really like Sceptile. Probably my favorite Gen 3 starter, I think. Probably my favorite Gen 3 starter. Not the one I use the most, and I'll get to that in a second. But definitely my favorite Gen 3 starter in terms of design, at least. And also usability. It is pretty fun to use. Torchic, cute. I like it. A. Blaziken, Combuskin. It gets a C for me, honestly. I don't really particularly like anything about Combuskin's design. It's okay. It's an okay Pokemon. It's not anything crazy. It's alright. That's really it. Blaziken, though, we'll get an A alongside Torchic. Not too much to say. Blaziken's a fun Pokemon to use. I think all three starters in this generation are pretty solid. In terms of usability and design, they are pretty solid, not counting Megas. Because one of them, the next one here, just don't really like his Mega. But Mudkip, adorable. I actually really like how adorable Mudkip is. Marshtomp kind of goes down here with Combuskin. Not the biggest fan of it. Swampert, I actually really like Swampert. I use Swampert probably the most, mostly because of the fact that you can sweep like the first 4 gyms with just Swampert alone. So usability is great in game in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and then Oras. I did also have him in the Fire Red Nuzlocke, or Eden. He did quite well until unfortunately we made it to, I think he died to Lance. Yeah, I got him killed. I threw him in and he died to Lance, but that was my fault. And he did really well though. We had him for a good majority of the game. We got him Marshtomp, I think, in the Poke Center outside of Mount Moon. If you guys haven't checked out that series, go ahead and go check that out. But I actually do like Swampert a lot. I don't know if I'll put an S. I'd probably definitely A though. Definitely A at least. Does not go any lower than that for me. Poochyena and Mightyena. Poochyena goes in B. So does Mightyena, I think. I don't have anything particularly against them. I don't particularly like their designs either, or usability wise. I mean, they're good, they're okay, they do what they do, you know. Linoon, I'm rating first because I actually like Linoon better than Zigzagoon. The Galarian forms are much better, but just regular forms, Zigzagoon's very okay. Linoon gets a bit better in terms of designs, and it's not actually that bad for being Route 1 normal type. Typically those ones aren't that great, but it's one of the better ones. But still not much higher than B for me, or not higher than B at all for me. I think B's the highest they would go. Wurmple, Silcoon, and Beautyfly are Kale. Actually, I think I think I'd put Beautyfly in B, Wurmple in C, Silcoon C. I actually don't really like Wurmple, to be honest with you. I don't really like Wurmple. I really don't. This design's weird. I don't really like it. The Cocoons, just Cocoon Pokemon. You know how I feel about those. I mean, in all honesty, the Cocoon Pokemon could go down here because I don't really like Cocoon Pokemon. Dustox goes up here, and Dustox goes up there. Dustox is a decent design. Both of them probably in terms of design and concept is good, but to get there is not the prettiest, and I don't particularly like Silcoon, Cascoon, or Wurmple. Beautyfly and Dustox are a great way to top it off, but yeah, no. Ludicolo, Lombre, or Lotad, Lombre, Ludicolo. Don't really like Ludicolo. And Lotad and Lombre aren't much better. I don't particularly like that line. Yeah, not much to be said there. I really just don't like. I don't know. Their designs are really out there. I'll just say that much. I still don't really like it. I feel like Ludicolo is just too much, in my opinion. I think Ludicolo is just too much. And he looked really weird in the Detective Pikachu movie. How is he furry? That's so weird. Anyways, C-Dot, Nuzleaf, Shiftry. Shiftry is for sure an A. Unfortunately, our puppet didn't get that far. Our Nuzleaf in the Heart Gold randomizing Nuzlocke. Go check that out. Link in the description. Couldn't get that far, but I definitely would put Shiftry up there. I do like Shiftry. Nuzleaf I put there. C-Dot can go in D. Yeah, that line does definitely get better as it goes on. Shiftry is a solid Pokemon. Ton of weaknesses, which is unfortunate, but I think that's what's really holding me from putting it S. But pretty good nonetheless. Tailo can go in C. The episode I just recorded today, I think you guys will have seen it on Friday. Makes me want to put Swallow all the way down here. You'll see that soon enough. You should have seen it yesterday by the time this video is coming out. I hate Swallow now, but I actually really like Swallow's design. It's probably one of my more favorite bird Pokemon. Route 1, or is it Route 1? I'm pretty sure it's Route 1 Pokemon. I do like its design. I haven't used it a whole lot, so maybe I'll just kind of keep it in B there. It's a good middle ground. But I like its design. Solid all around. Pelipper and Wingull. Oh, Pico. What do we do with Pico? Oh, man. Am I going to jump on the hate train here? Nah. We'll drop it in C. I don't particularly like their designs. I'm not against them either. They're not great, honestly. I've used them. Drizzle, but any water type is really good with Drizzle, so that's not really an argument to be had right there. Actually, I was gonna make an argument that Drizzle Pelipper is really good, but it's alright. It's okay. By the way, I realize how many times I say certain things a lot, and it is. I say that a lot too. I say a lot of things over and over. But anyways, that's not what we're here about. That's not what we're here for. Tier list. Ralts A for sure. I actually really like Ralts. It's so cute. Curlia B. Gardevoir definite S. I love Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a very good mon, very solid, and I always had to use it in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I think only Emerald. I don't know if you could see it in Ruby and Sapphire. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure you could, but I know for sure Emerald. I would always use it in my like serious runs when I wasn't trying to use different mons or anything. Gardevoir, definitely used it all the time. Very good mon. Love Gardevoir. Surskit, Masquerain. Surskit and Masquerain's a little bit better. That line's very okay. It's what I don't really like Surskit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really like Surskit. Masquerain isn't much better, to be honest. It'd be a low C if I wanted to put it there, honestly. But it's a little bit better than Surskit. But it's still pretty whatever, to be honest with you. Shroomish and Breloom. Actually, I'll put them both in B. I do like Breloom. I don't know if I'll put it in A. I might put it in A. Actually, I am going to put it in A. I do like Breloom. I have used Breloom on a couple playthroughs. I used one in Emerald, and then I used one in Oras. I forget which one. Omega Ruby, Oras, or Sapphire. I don't know which one I used it on, but I do remember using Breloom. And it being a pretty good mon. Breloom is a pretty good mon. A pretty good fighting type, pretty good grass type. Nice. That's an interesting typing as well. Grass fighting. I haven't seen anything quite like that, so... yeah, Breloom does definitely actually get my love. It is. I don't know why I doubted it. I should have put it in A first. I should have put it up there right away. Slakoth, Vigoroth, and Slacking. We actually do have a Slacking in our Heart Gold playthrough. Igor right now. Igor. Slakoth. Vigoroth. But I put it in A. I'll put Vigoroth in A. I'll put Slacking in B. I would put Slacking higher, but Truant just hold Slacking back, obviously, because Slacking without Truant is just disgusting. He has too high of an attack stat, and so Truant is a counter to that, but I definitely would put it in B. I would have honestly might have put in an S if it wasn't for Truant. If Slacking didn't have Truant, a definite S, actually. S for Slacking there. But because it has Truant, I'm going to put it in B there. Moving on to Nincada, Ninjask, and Shedinja are twice who died to a Sharpedo, which was my fault. I actually really like the concept and design of Ninjask, and the way Nincada evolves. Ninjask is an A. Nincada and Shedinja, though, I'm gonna put in C. I'm not a huge fan of both of them. They're okay. They're okay. Nincada's level curve is a pain in the butt. I hate it. I really hate Nincada's level curve. It's so incredibly slow. And it's because it evolves into two Pokemon when really only one's usable. I mean, the other one, you can use Shedinja, you can work around the Wonder Guard and all that, but realistically, you're probably going to be using Ninjask. So Nincada's level curve it really hurts it for me, in my opinion. Its level curve is incredibly slow. But moving on to Whismur, Exploud, or Whismur, Loudred, and Exploud. Biff, who died to, I think, the champion in Fire Red, which is amazing. Spoilers, by the way. I mean, if you haven't watched it now, I'm a little disappointed in you. But regardless, we actually started with Whismur, Biff. She was. I'm putting it in B. She was, I think, one of our episode 1 OGs, I think, or episode 2. Definitely very early in the series. We had her all the way through, up until the very end. But yeah, I think I put Whismur in B. I think I'd put Loudred also in B, but I'd put Exploud in A. I actually do like Exploud's design. Pretty solid design. Interesting design, and honestly one of the better normal types, in my opinion. Definitely one of the better normal types out there. And moving on to Makihita and Hariyama. Hariyama I'll put in A, Makihita I'll put in C. The big hands, I like the big hands from Makihita. It's a pretty good, bulky fighting type. Not the greatest, but it's still pretty good for a fighting type. One you can pick up pretty early in the game as well. So I do quite like Hariyama's design, and it's pretty fun to use. Makihita is alright. It's okay. It can stay in C. Azurill without Meryl and Azumarill. I hate baby Pokemon. I really don't like baby Pokemon, honestly. And Azurill is one of the worst ones. It's adorable, but no. I'm not going to be as nice as I was last week with the Gen 4 babies. No. I don't like Azurill, especially because it's normal and then eventually normal fairy. Like, it's really stupid. It's not even a water type. It has no stab moves, I think, until it evolves. It's just pointless to get, and it's only good if you really want a Azumarill. I don't really like Azurill. Nose Pass without Probopass. Not really. I'm not even a big fan of Probopass, to be honest. Their designs are really weird to me. I mean, I get it, the sort of Easter Island look, but not a big fan. I don't really like Nosepass's design. I don't really like using Nosepass either. It's not particularly great. So definitely in D for me. It's very eh. Skitty and Delcatty, I forget these two exist all the time, but I'd probably put Delcatty in B. I'd probably put Skitty in B as well. I'll put them both in B. I mean, just straight off of design, I've never used Skitty or Delcatty, so I have no experiences with them, but just purely off of design and that alone, they'll go in B. Sableye, I actually really like Sableye, but would I put it much higher? Without its Mega, it is not the greatest, and it finally got a weakness, I'm pretty sure, because of Fairy. It was like Spiritomb for a while, I think. I'm pretty sure Sableye's Dark Ghost, isn't it? I think it had a similar sort of no weakness sort of thing, same as kind of Spiritomb. But Sableye will go in B. Its usability is not great until Oras, and even then you need the Sable Knight, whatever it's called, because it needs to Mega Evolve. But it's not bad, it's just not that good either. But I do particularly like its design. I like how rare it is as well. Mawile S. I actually really like Mawile. I really like Mawile design. Not the greatest Pokemon, again, until like Sableye, until she Megas, Megas, but I actually really like its design. I really like its design. It's my favorite Steel type / Fairy type. I switch where I put them. I think I'd put her as my favorite Fairy type. I think I put her as my favorite Fairy type for sure. But yeah, Mawile, top tier. I actually really like Mawile. Aron, Lairon, and Aggron. Aggron's very good. Lairon is meh. Aron's B. Aggron, tempted to put an S, and I am gonna put an S. There was this playthrough I did with a shiny Aggron. I actually really like shiny Aggron. Shiny Aggron's pretty good. It's just blue instead of that dark gray, but I actually really like that design. It's nice to look at. It's a good blue to put on it, and honestly, I quite like Aggron. It's pretty fun to use as well, and I think I gave mine Surf, which made it even more fun to use. I just kind of experimented with it, and Aggron's pretty fun to use. So, and Mega Aggron is even better, right? So, and I'm trying not to count the Megas as part of my decision here, but regardless, I do really like Aggron with or without the Mega. Now, Meditite and Medicham. Medicham. Not great. I don't particularly like them. I have used Megacham on a playthrough before, Medicham, and it's okay. There's definitely much better options in this generation alone. There are better options, whether you're the Psychic route or the Fighting type route. Either way you go, there are better options out there, and they're just not particularly great, in my opinion. They're just not particularly great. Electrike and Manectric. Electrike will get a C. Manectric will get a B. I actually do like Manectric. I have used Manectric on a playthrough, and it's pretty solid. I do like Manectric. It's pretty solid Pokemon. Pretty solid electric type. Probably one of the best electric types in this generation. I think it might be the only one. Wait a minute. Are there any other electric types in this generation? No way. I think it is the only electric type in this. Oh no, plus one Minun. But well, we're about to get to them right now, but definitely the best electric type in this generation, I can comfortably say. But it's a pretty good Pokemon to use regardless of whether you're in Gen 3 or not. Now, like I said, plus one Minun are next, and Pikachu clones of the generation can get a C. They're not great. They might, just because of the Pikachu clone of the generation, I'll put them in C. C for clone. They're not great though. They're not very fun to use. They're not good Pokemon in general in terms of usability, but because they're the Pikachu clone, we'll put them in C. Volbeat and Illumise, whatever you call it, they can both go in D. I don't particularly like any of them. I remember getting a shiny Illumise, hated it. Hated the fact that I got a shiny Illumise because I think Heracross was also in the front. This is a Friend Safari shiny, and left a really bad taste in my mouth because I could have gotten a Heracross. I think I walked in the grass and the first Pokemon that popped up was shiny Illumise. And then the second one that popped up was a Heracross, and I was like, could have been a shiny Heracross, but of course it was a shiny Illumise. So hate them both, don't like them. They can go burn, I don't care. Rosalia without Badoo, which wouldn't really help its case, without Roserade, which would help its case. I actually like Rosalia. I like Rosalia shiny more so, but Rosalia is a pretty solid Pokemon to use. I currently do have one in our Heart Gold playthrough. Have quite a few Gen 3 Pokemon I'm now realizing in our Heart Gold playthrough, or ones that we've used in past playthroughs already. That's weird. Anyways, I think I would actually. We had a Sceptile too in our yeah, we had a Sceptile. We had wow, we've used a lot of Gen 3 Pokemon so far. Anyways, Rainin, our Rosalia, is, yeah, I'd probably put her in B. Solid Pokemon. It just sucks that she's kind of held back by having to be evolved by a stone, and the shiny stone specifically being a pretty difficult one to get in a lot of games. So it does hold her back a bit right there. Now Gulpin and Swalot, right? I think it's Swalot. Never use them, and I don't particularly like them. Their designs are whatever. Poison types, they're not very great. They're really only good for, what's it, Stockpile and I think it's called Spit Up. I think is what it's called, the two moves. They're just bulky poison types. They're not particularly great in my opinion. I don't really like their designs. They're just kind of more refined Grimer and Muck, honestly, and they're whatever designs. To me, Sharpedo and Carvanha both get A's for me. I actually do like both of their designs. They're both really annoying to go against, but I would put them up there. Their shinies are, I think Carvanha shiny is very solid. Sharpedo's is still good, but I think Carvanha shiny is very good. Obviously we're not at that point yet where I'm going over shinies, but just thought I'd bring it up. I do like Carvanha and Sharpedo though. I have used them. They are pretty solid water types, very fast. Sort of the predecessor to Barraskewda in a way, and I do like Barraskewda as well. So yeah, Carvanha, Sharpedo, I do like their designs, and I like how they are in terms of usability. Wailmer and Wailord. Wailmer can get a C, Wailord can get a B. Wailord, a lot of it comes from seeing the giant Wailords, and I think it's Isle of Armor, is it Crown Tundra? I think it's Crown Tundra, where you can see the giant Wailord. I think it's Crown Tundra. I'm pretty sure it's Crown Tundra in Sword and Shield. Seeing the giant freaking Wailord, it's extremely bulky, unless you have like a grass or electric type. That's the only time Wailord seems to have no defense, and it really doesn't. It's kind of a false tank. I think it has pretty low defense. I could be wrong, but I think it's kind of one of those false tanks where it has a lot of HP but not a ton of defense. So it kind of stays in B right there, but it is a pretty fun water type to use. Numel and Camerupt. Camerupt can get an A. Numel can get a B. Yeah, Numel can get a B. Camerupt, I actually do quite like Camerupt's design. I have used Camerupt on a couple playthroughs. Camerupt is pretty fun. We had a Camerupt for an episode in our Heart Gold Nuzlocke, and then, you know, Morty happened. But Camerupt, that's another Gen 3 Pokemon we've used. That's crazy. But yeah, Camerupt, pretty good, fun to use. That quad weakness hurts a lot, and it's not incredibly bulky. It doesn't have a ton of defense. So it is a little fragile sometimes, it feels like, but I do like its design, and it is pretty fun to use regardless. Torkoal can get a C. Torkoal's okay. Torkoal's alright. Move on from that. Splinking, Grumpig. Grumpig, we'll give them both B's. We'll give them both B's. I think B is a good place for them. I don't remember using them a whole lot, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I've used a Grumpig before. But I don't remember them being that great. I do like their design. Spoink is adorable. It's kind of has a sad backstory where if it stops bouncing, it dies. That's really sad. But Grumpig is a good design as well. And I actually do like their designs quite a bit. Spinda, concept alone pushes Spinda up to A. I actually don't want to count out Spinda because you don't want to count. Spinda's actually a pretty good normal type. But the concept that no one or very few people, very few people will have the same Spinda is awesome. The different patterns on it and all that is amazing, especially when it's shiny, you know. I wonder how many people have the same Spinda in the world. It's insane. The amount of different designs Spinda can have, and just concept alone puts Spinda all the way up there for me, but it's also a pretty good normal type to use. It's not that bad, and not as bad as I used to think. Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon. I think I'm gonna go with S. I do really like Flygon's design. Vibrava can go on B, and so can Trapinch. The line definitely gets better as it goes on, but for me, Flygon is, I love Flygon a lot. I always loved Flygon in Gen 3. I always preferred it over Salamence. I actually really like Flygon over Salamence. That could be me being crazy, but I don't know. I think I would say it's my favorite dragon type in Gen 3, not counting legendaries. With Salamence behind it and Altaria behind it. Gen 3 has 3 very solid dragon types. We'll get to the other 2 in a second, but Gen 3 has some pretty solid dragon types. Cacnea can go in D. Cacturne can also go in D. Not a big fan of them. They're whatever. Swablu and Altaria. Swablu can go in B. Altaria can also go in S. I do like all 3 dragon types from this generation. I'm in love with you. I do like all 3 dragon types from this generation. Oh, screw Zangoose. Zangoose can go in D. Screw Zangoose. Sapphire though can go in B. Sapphire's got a very good shiny. If you want to know why I hate Zangoose, go watch the Heart Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke and you'll see. I really hate Zangoose. Screw Zangoose. Solrock and Lunatone can get a C. They're alright. Whiscash and Barboach. Thought they were Gen 4 Pokemon for the longest, to be honest with you. I thought they were Gen 4 Pokemon for the longest. Whiscash can get a B. Barboach can get a D, just because it's incredibly forgettable. I don't really remember Barboach exists until I look up Whiscash moveset and I see Barboach right there. I'm like, oh yeah, it evolves from that. But I do like Whiscash. I generally do like water ground types, and Whiscash is definitely no, what's the word? Exception to that. No exception to that. So we'll put it up there. Crawdaunt B. Corphish C. I do like Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt's pretty good. Corphish a little bit lower. I think it definitely gets better when it evolves. So yeah, I think those are good spots for it. Claydol, Baltoy. Baltoy can go in C. Claydol can go in. That's not Claydol. Claydol can go in B. I do like Claydol. I like Claydol quite a bit. I like its design. It's pretty solid. Lileep and Credilli can. Lileep can go in D. Credilli can go in C. Not a big fan of Lileep. Credilli's not much better, but it's a little bit better than Lileep. Armaldo can go in B. Anorith can go in C. Anorith is honestly pretty forgettable, but because it becomes Armaldo, I do quite like Armaldo. The fossils for this gen were not great in my opinion compared to a lot of other generations fossils. So yeah, Armaldo's much better than Anorith, which is why it's going to B, but I'm not the biggest fan of the fossils from the generation. Milotic, S, yes, please. Phoebus can get a B because I like how dopey it looks, much like Magikarp. So like all it just looks so funny. But yeah, Milotic, love Milotic, very solid water type, fun to use as well, and especially in Oras. Oras Milotic was pretty fun to use. Cast formed little ball sack Pokemon can go in B. Purely because it can do these, it can get into these, and I do actually really like the design of all three cast forms. Not the biggest fan of original cast form, but the three forms do look better. Actually, I think I put these two in B. The Thunder one, I don't remember which one this is actually, but this one right here is one that I would put definitely above the rest. Sun one, the Rain one are pretty good, but I think it's Lightning, like Thunderstorm maybe? I don't know. I don't remember which one this is actually. I don't really remember. But yeah, that one I'd put up there. These two can go with cast form in B. Kecleon can go in C. I actually do like Kecleon's design. Color change is an interesting ability as well. And I like that they're invisible and you need the specific goggles to see them in Gen 3 in Hoenn. I think that's funny. Dot. I thought you were Duskull, so I named you Dot by accident. Shuppet can go there. That's another Gen 3 Pokemon that we have used in the playthrough. She never got to Bennett, unfortunately, but I think Bennett is a pretty solid mon. Mega is really nice, but Bennett, I think overall is a pretty solid mon. We'll go ahead and scroll down a bit here. Dusclops and Duskull. We're gonna have to speed it up a little bit because I think I'm running behind. Duskull can go B. Dusclops can actually go A. I actually do quite like Dusclops and then Dusknoir subsequently, but yeah. Tropius D, very forgettable. Not particularly happy about the design. Chimecho, same. Don't really like Chimecho. Their design, they're just incredibly forgettable for me. Absol, I actually really like Absol. Absol can go in S. Absol's a very good Pokemon. I actually really like Absol. It can stay in S up there. Why not? D, don't like it. D for don't like it. Snorunt can go in C. Glalie can go in high A. I know I'm putting them new, whatever. You get what I mean. Sveal can go in B because it's pretty cute. Celio can go in C because it's alright. Walrein will go high A. Borderline S, but definite high A. Right there. We're gonna leave it in A. Clamperl, very forgettable. Huntail is a little bit better than Clamperl and Goribus. Goribus and Clamperl, extremely forgettable. Don't really like them. Relicanth is forgettable, but actually it's not a bad Pokemon to use. Love Disc. Yeah, Love Disc. Bagon can go in B. B for Bagon. Shelgon's kind of a cocoon Pokemon, but it's a little bit better, so we'll throw it in C, especially because we get Salamence from it. Salamence is a definite S for me. Like I said, Gen 3 has the best come at me. The best dragon types out of all generations. The best 3 collection there. Very solid. I think Gen 5 would probably be the only other one that could really rival it. But I think Gen 3 has some of the best dragon types in terms of at least design. They have some of the best dragon types. Beldum, Metang, Metagross. So Beldum can go in C, Metang can go in B. Metagross is a definite S. I know I'm putting the pseudos up here, but whew, Metagross is really fun to use. Mega Metagross is even more fun to use. But yeah, definitely S for me. Regirock, Regice, Registeel. Here, remember, if you remember last episode or the last tier list video I put out, I said I was gonna do only 1 legendary per group can go in S. However, none of these 3 would honestly go in S for me. I think honestly they would all go in B. I don't particularly like the Reggie. These 3 Reggies specifically, they're okay. Definitely my least favorite. I think the newer Reggies are a lot better. I think Regigigas is a lot better. These 3 though, not particularly fond of them. Latios and Latias, or Latias and Latios, A for both of them. I can't choose between them, so they're both gonna go on A. Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza, the Weather Trio, all S's. I do like all 3 of them, but I gotta choose my boy Rayquaza. Rayquaza's gotta be an S. If I had to choose between the 3 of them, Rayquaza is definitely the best out of the 3 of them, in my humble opinion, of course. We're gonna leave Rayquaza up there. I'm gonna zoom it out a little bit so you can see more of the list. Jirachi can be... we're going off of the games, not the movies. We're going off the games, not the movies. So A. Jirachi's alright. As usability, very good design. I actually really like Jirachi's design, but A for me. Deoxys. Finally, we're at Deoxys. And we have Deoxys Attack, Deoxys... We have Deoxys Attack form, Deoxys Defense form, and then Deoxys Speed form, or whatever they call it. I don't remember. Original Deoxys for me is A tier. I mean S. All the way up there, which means the rest of these by default go in A. But honestly, Defense form's a little weird for me. Can go in B. But the other 2, Attack and Speed, can go in A. Yeah, I think that's about where I'd put the Deoxys forms. I think OG Deoxys just looks the best out of the 3 of them. Attack and Speed do look pretty good, but I think OG, the original form, just looks the best out of all of them. I do love how you can see it right there. Its arm like comes apart and it can like reform and do all that. That is really cool. I really like Deoxys as a legendary. Not a big fan of the defense form, I'm not gonna lie, but still really like Deoxys as a legendary. And there it is, my Generation 3 Pokemon tier list. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list down below. I want you guys to send me your tier list on Twitter, preferably. It's just a lot easier for me. At HermitLonely_. Go ahead and send me your tier list there. And if you guys enjoyed the video, and if you are new here, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Go check out the socials in the description. Twitter and Instagram are both at HermitLonely_. Please share your socials with your friends, family, everybody know. Let the people know. Lonely Hermit's where it's at, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.